Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now, the Dallas Cowboys received a major boost on Wednesday as one of their defensive tone-setters returned to practice. A development that could not have come at a better time for America's team. After missing last Thursday's clash against the Detroit Lions, defensive end Jadeveon Clowney is expected to be back on the field in full practice sessions, signaling a possible return for Week 15 against the Minnesota Vikings. Clowney's absence last week was felt deeply as Dallas struggled to contain the run, allowing the Lions to rack up 109 yards on the ground, at an average of 5 yards per carry. That performance stood in stark contrast to Detroit's recent games where they had been routinely stuffed by opposing defenses, highlighting just how vital Clowney has been for the Cowboys' defensive identity this season. His ability to set the edge and disrupt opposing backfields has made him a cornerstone of a unit that has otherwise struggled with consistency, and his potential return could mark a turning point in Dallas' playoff push. Clowney, who was signed by Dallas after Week 2, has appeared in 9 games this season with 3 starts, compiling 27 tackles and 4 sacks along the way. His impact on the field became unmistakably clear during the Cowboys' Thanksgiving Day victory over the Kansas City Chiefs, where he produced a career-best performance with 6 tackles and 2 sacks on Patrick Mahomes. That game was a vivid reminder of the defensive force Clowney represents, and of the difference he makes when healthy and playing at a high level. The timing of his return could not be better, as Dallas faces the Minnesota Vikings, a team that has struggled offensively despite flashes of promise, particularly through their second-year quarterback J.J. McCarthy, who has been inconsistent and ranks 30th in the league in passing yardage. For the Cowboys, a defense that simply performs at an average level is often enough to tilt the scales, especially when paired with an offense that has been among the league's most potent throughout the season. The return of Clowney is more than just a numbers boost. It is a psychological lift for a defense that has alternated between flashes of brilliance and frustrating lapses all year, with the Cowboys' offense doing much of the heavy lifting in recent weeks. Their defense has occasionally undermined the team's efforts by allowing opponents to sustain drives and control the tempo. During Dallas' 3-game winning streak, the Cowboys demonstrated that even an average defensive performance could be sufficient to secure victories. But the absence of a player like Clowney leaves a noticeable void that cannot be easily replaced. His presence on the edge allows the linebackers more freedom to attack, frees up the secondary, and generally instills a level of confidence that permeates the entire unit. Against a Vikings team that has shown both resilience and vulnerability, the Cowboys have a golden opportunity to re-establish a defensive rhythm and potentially seize control of a matchup that could be pivotal in their quest for a playoff berth. Practice reports on Wednesday afternoon at the Star revealed encouraging signs as the team ramped up its preparations for Sunday night's showdown against Minnesota at AT&T Stadium. Another primetime opportunity to showcase the team to a national audience. With Clowney expected to participate fully, the Cowboys coaching staff can begin to implement defensive schemes that maximize his strengths while also testing the rest of the unit in game-like situations. The excitement around his return is amplified by the fact that Dallas secondary will also need to remain alert, particularly given the Vikings' propensity to force turnovers. Even though there was an unexpected absence in practice with starting safety Malik Hooker not taking part in drills, sources suggest there is little cause for concern. Hooker, a veteran presence in the defensive backfield, may simply have been observing a veteran day off, a common practice among seasoned players managing the wear and tear of a long season. His eventual return would complement Clowney's impact, giving the Cowboys a more complete defensive package heading into a game where stopping the run and pressuring the quarterback will be critical. Dallas' defensive line and secondary have often operated in isolation when key players have been sidelined, but the reintegration of Clowney could serve as the catalyst for broader cohesion. A healthy and active Clowney allows defensive coordinators to vary pressure packages, mix up coverages, and create situations that test an opposing quarterback's decision-making under duress. Against the Vikings offense that has shown a willingness to turn the ball over, this could lead to an increase in big play opportunities, momentum swings, and ultimately, victories. For a team chasing a playoff spot, such factors are not minor. They could very well determine whether the Cowboys secure home field advantages or face more challenging matchups on the road. Clowney's return is a reminder that a single elite talent, when utilized properly, can influence not only individual plays, but the trajectory of an entire season. Offensively, Dallas has maintained a steady march towards excellence, but it is clear that championship aspirations require a balanced team, capable of dominating on both sides of the ball. The Vikings, while inconsistent, are not an opponent to be taken lightly, and the Cowboys cannot rely solely on their offense to carry the load. Clowney's presence, combined with the potential return of Hooker, provides a dual boost that addresses the team's historical weakness, defensive reliability. Sunday night's primetime stage, with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth calling the action and Melissa Stark providing sideline updates, adds an extra layer of urgency and visibility to the matchup. The Cowboys know that a strong performance could validate their season's efforts, while simultaneously sending a message to the rest of the league that their defense is finding its footing, just in time for the playoff push as the team moves forward. The narrative is clear: a fully healthy defensive line anchored by Clowney, supported by a competent secondary including Hooker, gives the Cowboys the tools to impose their will on opponents. The return of these players is more than just numbers on a stat sheet. It's about restoring identity, confidence, and the belief that Dallas can compete with anyone in the league. With Clowney back at practice and on track to play, the Cowboys are closer to fielding the complete team they envisioned at the start of the season, one capable of not just winning games, but asserting dominance in critical moments. Their matchup against Minnesota is more than a contest. It is an opportunity to recalibrate, to show resilience, and to remind the NFL that when healthy, the Dallas Cowboys defense can be as intimidating as their storied defense is explosive. In conclusion, Wednesday's practice signals hope for Dallas fans and a possible turning point in the Cowboys season. The anticipated return of Jadeveon Clowney, coupled with the expected presence of Malik Hooker in the defensive backfield, offers a glimpse of what a fully capable Dallas defense could look like. The stakes are high, the spotlight is on, and the timing could not be more perfect. If the Cowboys can translate practice success into Sunday night dominance, they may find themselves not only with a key victory but with renewed momentum, confidence, and a more complete team identity as they navigate the final stretch of the regular season and position themselves for a deep playoff run. Clowney's return is the spark, Hooker's steady hand is the glue, and together, they could redefine the defensive narrative for a team whose offensive exploits have long captured headlines, but whose defensive resurgence is desperately needed to turn aspiration into reality. The coming days at the Star will reveal much, but if Wednesday's session is any indication, Dallas is poised to reclaim its defensive edge and bring balance back to a team with legitimate championship ambitions. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. Jerry Jones, the ever-vocal and enigmatic owner of the Dallas Cowboys, has finally broken his silence after weeks of speculation, whispers, and rampant chatter throughout the NFL world. And boy, when he spoke, the words didn't just land, they detonated. According to sources close to the organization, Jones did not mince words, painting a picture of a franchise in turmoil, a locker room divided, and a culture that has seemingly reached a tipping point. The statements have already sent shockwaves through social media, with fans, analysts, and insiders scrambling to parse the subtext and implications. This is not just another offhand remark from an owner prone to hyperbole. This is a declaration, a judgment, and, if the rumors are to be believed, a public indictment of the team's internal dynamics. The phrase that has dominated every headline, every whisper, every viral clip is simple but incendiary: nobody on this team wants him back. That sentence alone, repeated with the gravitas of Jones's reputation, has turned the NFL world upside down. People are asking who exactly he meant, what sparked this, and whether this signals a larger, more systemic breakdown within America's most storied football franchise. For weeks now, speculation has swirled around the Cowboys locker room. Rumors of tension, fractured relationships, and disagreements between coaching staff and players have been part of the rumor mill. But nothing approached the level of intensity that Jones's comments have ignited. The organization, long considered a juggernaut with a near mythical aura in the sport, suddenly seems vulnerable, human, and fragile. Insiders suggest that this is not merely a critique of one individual's performance on the field. It is a broader indictment of personality clashes, leadership struggles, and philosophical disagreements that have simmered under the surface for months. The Cowboys, after all, have always been about more than just football. They are a brand, a symbol, A cultural touchstone. When the owner speaks like this, it is not just noise. It reverberates through the league, across boardrooms, and into living rooms across America. Fans are divided, some defending the players and questioning Jones's timing, while others argue that this is a rare moment of brutal honesty that exposes issues everyone suspected but no one dared to articulate. What adds fuel to this fire is the ambiguity surrounding who exactly is at the center of Jones's statement. The media frenzy has attempted to parse every nuance, every inflection, every fragment of leaked audio or second-hand report. Names are circulating, sometimes whispered in private podcasts, sometimes shouted in live broadcasts. Yet nothing has been definitively confirmed. The uncertainty has only heightened the drama, making it feel less like a sports story and more like a primetime thriller unfolding in real time. Sources suggest that the tension is not isolated to a single figure, but rather reflects a wider unrest within the roster. Veterans and young stars alike are said to be grappling with questions about loyalty, leadership, and the direction of a franchise that has long been synonymous with glory, success, and championship ambition. The Cowboys are suddenly a case study in high-profile discord, a cautionary tale that even the most glamorous and financially powerful teams are not immune to internal crises. Insiders also hint that the comment may have been triggered by a series of behind-the-scenes events that were never meant to see the light of day. Disagreements over play calling, contract disputes, and personality clashes have allegedly festered for months, creating a volatile environment in which tempers flare and alliances shift like sand. Jones, known for his larger-than-life personality and hands-on approach, apparently reached a breaking point, deciding that the only way to address the situation was to speak openly, bluntly, and publicly. This is classic Jones in a way: dramatic, unapologetic, and unafraid of confrontation. But the stakes have never been higher. The NFL world watches with bated breath because when an owner makes a statement like this, it is rarely without consequence. The ripple effects could impact trades, coaching decisions, locker room morale, and even fan engagement, as supporters try to reconcile the idealized image of their team with the apparent reality of discord within. Social media has exploded in response, with hashtags trending, discussion boards flooded, and fan groups polarized. Some fans celebrate the honesty, claiming that Jones is finally addressing issues that have been quietly eroding the team's cohesion for years. Others see it as a betrayal, a public airing of grievances that undermines confidence in the organization's leadership. Analysts on sports networks dissect every word, replay interviews, and speculate on the identity of the unnamed player or players who may have prompted such a strong reaction. Rumor has it that internal meetings have been called, that coaching staff are scrambling to manage morale, and that the tension is palpable not only in team facilities, but in every interaction between management and players. This is not a mere storyline, it is a living, breathing saga, and everyone involved seems acutely aware that the next moves will shape the Cowboys' trajectory for years to come. What makes this situation even more intriguing is the potential ripple effect beyond the Cowboys. The NFL, as a league, thrives on narrative, drama, and intrigue. A statement like this, from an owner of Jones's stature, has implications for how other franchises view their own locker rooms, player management dynamics, and public communication strategies. Agents and players are reportedly paying close attention, weighing loyalty against career strategy, and wondering how such tensions might influence trades, contracts, and negotiations league-wide. The Cowboys, already a team whose every move is magnified, now find themselves at the center of an intricate web of speculation, gossip, and strategic calculation. Every press conference, every interview, every minor gesture by a player or coach is analyzed for hidden meaning, and every social media post becomes a potential clue in the unfolding drama. In a league obsessed with stories beyond the scoreboard, this may well be one of the most compelling sagas in recent memory. Meanwhile, inside the Cowboys organization, the mood is reportedly tense, cautious, and fraught with uncertainty. Sources close to the team suggest that meetings behind closed doors are frequent, private conversations are guarded, and the usual camaraderie is overshadowed by concern and speculation. Veteran players, who once may have carried a sense of entitlement or security, are now reportedly questioning their roles, their influence, and their relationships with leadership. Younger stars, meanwhile, are navigating a delicate balance between ambition and loyalty, trying to gauge how much they can assert themselves without risking the ire of management. The psychology of a locker room is complex, under normal circumstances, but in a climate charged by public declarations of dissatisfaction, it becomes almost a study in human behavior under pressure. Sports psychologists, former players, and analysts are weighing in on what such statements can do to team cohesion, and all signs point to a period of intense scrutiny and potential transformation. Rumors also suggest that the fallout could impact upcoming roster decisions, trades, free agency moves, and coaching changes may all be influenced by the perception of a fractured locker room. While nothing has been officially confirmed, insiders hint that potential deals are being reconsidered, that negotiations may be more cautious, and that the Cowboys front office is acutely aware of how public perception and internal morale intersect. Jones's statement may have been intended as a wake-up call, but it also functions as a signal to the broader NFL community. The Cowboys are not immune to internal conflict, and in fact, they may be entering a period of unprecedented turbulence. The combination of superstar egos, managerial authority, and public scrutiny creates a high-stakes environment where every decision carries weight beyond the football field. And so the story continues to unfold, with every new rumor, every leaked comment, and every speculative analysis feeding into a narrative that feels both cinematic and painfully real. Fans are glued to updates, insiders are cautiously navigating leaks, and the NFL world at large is left to wonder what comes next. One thing is certain: Jerry Jones has lit a fuse, and the explosion of discussion, debate, and rumor shows no signs of abating. The Cowboys, a franchise built on legacy, expectation, and spectacle, now find themselves at a crossroads, with the eyes of the world scrutinizing every move. Whether this crisis leads to transformation, chaos, or some combination of the two, the implications are enormous. In the high-stakes, high-visibility world of professional football, statements like these are not easily forgotten, and the reverberations are likely to be felt for seasons to come. The rumor mill will churn, the analysts will theorize, and the fans will speculate endlessly. But at the heart of it all is a simple, explosive declaration that will be remembered: nobody on this team wants him back. Those 6 words, uttered by one of the most powerful figures in sports, have opened a chapter in Cowboys history that promises drama, intrigue, and endless debate. And in true NFL fashion, everyone, from the casual fan to the hardcore insider, is now watching to see how it all unfolds. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.